Imagine a world power, a behemoth that dominated half the globe, suddenly ceasing to exist. It's a startling thought, isn't it? Yet, this is precisely the fate that befell the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics, or the USSR, in the late 20th century. The unraveling of this superpower is a riveting tale of political, economic, and social upheaval. So, buckle in as we delve into the intriguing chronicle of the USSR's collapse. Our narrative begins post-World War II. The USSR emerged as a global superpower, its influence stretching across Eastern Europe. However, beneath the surface, cracks were beginning to show. The centralized, planned economy, a cornerstone of the Soviet regime, was proving unsustainable. Despite initial growth by the early 1960s, the economy was stagnating. The cost of maintaining a vast military-industrial complex was bleeding the nation dry. Enter the 1980s, and Mikhail Gorbachev, the final leader of the Soviet Union. Gorbachev, realizing the dire state of the economy, introduced two key reforms: perestroika, economic restructuring, and glasnost, increased transparency and freedom of speech. Ironically, these reforms intended to save the USSR ended up accelerating its downfall. Glasnost opened the floodgates to pent-up public dissent. People began questioning the government, demanding democracy, and protesting against human rights abuses. Simultaneously, perestroika failed to revive the economy. Instead, it led to widespread shortages, inflation, and even more public discontent. The 1980s also saw the USSR embroiled in the costly Afghan war, further straining its already precarious economy. By the end of the decade, nationalist movements were gaining momentum in various Soviet republics, signaling the beginning of the end. The final blow came in August 1991. A failed coup attempt by hardline communists shook the nation, undermining the central government's authority. By December, all 15 Soviet republics had declared independence, effectively dissolving the USSR. Gorbachev resigned, and the Russian Federation, led by Boris Yeltsin, emerged as the successor state. Looking back, the USSR's collapse was the culmination of an array of factors. The unsustainable economic model, the failure of Gorbachev's reforms, the Afghan war, and the rise of nationalist movements all played significant roles. The collapse of this superpower sent shockwaves across the globe, reshaping the world's political landscape. To sum up, the unraveling of the USSR was a complex process, characterized by economic stagnation, political missteps, and public dissent. It serves as a potent reminder of the impermanence of even the mightiest of empires and the relentless march of history. A fascinating study of the rise and fall of a superpower, the tale of the USSR's collapse continues to captivate and intrigue.